Open Pagan Church on a Sunday morning. Hope everyone's doing well. Well, I've got a couple of public announcements, if you would. We'll get on to those here in just a moment. Um, our positive energies and candles go out to Lucy this morning. Um, she said goodbye to her uncle, I think it was. So positive energies to you and your family for sure. Also got some positive energies going out to my wife Camille, who has been in Tyler since Thursday. Thursday? Thursday. Her dad had a quadruple bypass, I believe. Last report this morning, he is, yes, cousin. All right. Last report this morning, he is doing well. He's up and around-ish. Much as can be expected for a man that had his chest ripped wide open. So we are definitely wishing him well and a speedy recovery to his family as well. If anybody else needs candles or anything going on this morning, please always post them in the chat. Pagans love Pagans love to light candles and send good energy. Yeah. What else have we got going on? Well, if you look in the description area where I put all of the pre-broadcast information, you will see down at the bottom where we have a new web page. It's a new group where more people can find us, share ideas, share thoughts, and what have you. Of course, everybody's thoughts and opinions are welcome, as long as they're respectful. So you can see the link. You do have to have a Yahoo account to yahoo.com account to view that, but it's over on Flickr. The link, like I say, is shared in the description area up top. You can post your altar calls, circle calls, pictures of your altar. It's another medium in which for people to be able to ask questions of a open pagan church, if you will. That being said, I don't think we have any more public announcements this morning, so we can kind of carry on. Welcome to those of you that are just joining. Those of you that are watching our pre-recorded broadcast, thank you for watching. Well, our topic this morning is questioning faith in everything. Now, excuse me. I'm going to be playing a little bit of devil's advocate, if you will, today. And I want to do this because I think everyone should step back on occasion and take inventory. Take inventory of self. Take inventory of what you believe, your faith, your ideas, your philosophies, because it's real easy for religious ideas to become quickly outdated. It's real easy for our thoughts and our belief systems to quickly become outdated and, in some cases, rather jaded. So, and I will say this real quick, I'm still kind of trying to get the mic gain adjusted, so if it's a little high or a little low, please don't hesitate to let me know. So let's get started, shall we? Questioning faith in everything. Well, let me start at the beginning, if you will, of my yearly meditation. each year between Samhain and Ostara. Each year between Samhain and Ostara, I go into what's known as the dark time, if you will, the questioning. And I learned many years ago that if you allow yourself to do this, now come on, don't get extreme with it here. Don't start questioning the love of your loved ones. Don't start questioning your very existence, though that's typically not a bad thing. But if you allow yourself to get wound up into a snowball and start um, overdoing it, if you will, not that humans ever do that, you can find yourself losing touch with everything. Everything has boundaries, and everything has to be settled within those boundaries. So, kind of here's what I'm talking about. Between Samhain and Ostara, I like to allow myself to, spiritually speaking, start the what if. Now, what if is a very dangerous question. What if? And then I allow what if to be backed up with but I. And but I is a very dangerous statement, especially for anyone that's going through counseling or any of that nature. So let's take a look at some of the what ifs. And like I say, I may piss some people off, and that's okay. I've done it before. But let's think about some what ifs. Now let's step way back tens of thousands of years ago when humans were really starting to walk upright. Humans were going through the um, evolution, if you will, of cooking, and scientifically proven that when humans started cooking their meat, the meat had more protein, which developed a bigger brain. Sometimes that's a good thing, and sometimes it may not be, but here we go. So it allows us to be able to question. It allows us to be able to wonder, if you will. And let's think about something. Christianity teaches you question nothing. Have blind faith in your preacher. Have blind faith in your Catholic priest. For only through your Catholic priest can you find heaven. Only through the church can you find heaven. Well, obviously, pagans don't believe that way. Obviously, pagans have our own place that we go when the body dies. Now, here comes the questioning. If we step back to the pre-beginnings of all belief systems, humans seem to be the only creature on the planet that needs some form of spirituality. Now, whether that spirituality or belief means that you are atheist and you believe that there is nothing. Atheism believes that when you die, you're done, you rot, it's over with. Pagans believe that when you die, your body goes back to the mother, your spirit moves on to either be reincarnated or to rest for a while in whatever you might call the resting place. I tend to, for lack of a better term, call it Valhalla. I know Valhalla is the old Viking term, but I like it and I use it. Some people call it the resting place. So, what if the atheists are right? Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to convert to atheism, but work with me here for a moment. What if there's nothing? What if there is nothing but darkness and black after death? What if that once this body dies, it's done? What if everything that we have always thought as God and Goddess, triad depending on your path, council depending on your path, or spirit guides depending on your path, what if all of that was figments of our imagination? What if everything that we always thought that we believed to be spirituality and spiritual guidance is a crock of crap? Follow me here for just a moment. I allow myself once a year to go through this what if. Every year for the last 20 odd years, I have always, by Ostara, come back around to, I like the voices in my head. They help me. And it's been proven to me more times than not that there is something out there. But let's continue on this what if, shall we? What if the Mesopotamians had it all wrong? Mesopotamians, actually, one of the residents of Mesopotamia took to Egypt the first monotheistic belief system. If you don't believe me, I hope you look it up. Imhotep formed the first monotheistic recognized belief system, later changing his name to Amun-Ra. Look it up. What if Amun-Ra has it right? What if there is only one God? What if that one God is masculine, i.e. male? And what if, which later gave birth to Christianity, what if the Christians have it right? Well, all of us pagans are in deep doo-doo. And that's okay. So let's continue on this questioning path, if you will. Let's get a little crazy with it for a moment. What if everything that we think is real is actually a figment of our imagination? Me sitting here talking to you on Facebook Live on Open Pagan Church is a figment of your imagination. What if you driving down the road is a figment of your imagination? What is imagination? Something that we imagine within our own minds. What if it's all crap and we're all in a fishbowl and some science experiment by some aliens somewhere? Yes, funny, perhaps, but it's amazing the places your minds go when you allow it to wonder. I had a conversation with a preacher many years ago. And we talked about this because I've always done it. I've always just periodically, once a year, automatically, allowed my mind to wonder. Now, I never realized when I was a kid that it always happened between Samhain, which I thought was Halloween, and Ostara, which I thought was Easter. So something about that time span that I always allowed myself to question, to wonder, to dig deep into what's in here and what's in here. Where does it go? Where does it all come from? Pagans, as well as Christians, as well as many other religions on the planet, believe that humans have free will. We were born and given and have learned free will. I like my free will. Don't want anybody to try to take my free will from me. Although society, on a daily basis, society does try to take your free will away from you. They tell you you're wrong, you're going to go to hell. Well, okay, if I do and there is a hell, I'll see you there because by your own religion you're condemning me to hell, which is against, it's a sin in Christianity to condemn someone else to hell. Clint, is it Clint or Cindy that's posting his Open Pagan Church? Adjust your name, please, so people know who they're talking to. Ha ha ha. So let us continue. Sometimes it's good to let yourself reaffirm who and what you are. To tear yourself all the way down to the foundation. And I do have several videos on building your spiritual foundation. Me, it's once a year. I know some people that do it every couple of months. Well, to me, that's a little much. I have more. Hey, welcome, Jake. I have more to do than to sit around every couple of months and question my existence. So, what do you think? Do you think should people, I wouldn't say all, because bless their heart, some people do not have the intestinal fortitude or the ability to pull themselves up back of a hole, out of a hole, after they've dug a pretty deep hole. And when you allow yourself to question to the point all the way down to your own atom, it's good for you. Because you allow yourself to get rid of old dilapidated ideas, old dilapidated thoughts and processes. You allow yourself to get rid of the things that you no longer need. But if you allow yourself to question all the way down to the atom, and you're not careful, you can wind yourself up into a place you probably don't want to be. So let's continue on. Many pagans. Oh, thank you, Max. Appreciate that. Many pagans do not live for other people. I don't. I don't live for other people. I have a family. I have me. I live for me. And it is quite worth being able to sit myself down on a yearly basis and question. Thank you, Max. Who is that? Max Janelle. Isn't he showing his intelligence? Oh well, everybody's got a troll. Admins, don't kick him. Let him show his ignorance. That's okay. So if we question where we come from, and we question who we've been, and we question where we're going, it allows one to be able to clean out the trash, to clean out those things that bother us and cause us pain, that cause us issues, and that cause us the lack of the ability to grow in our own spirituality. Those of us that do grow in our own spirituality and we move forward in whatever belief system we are, whether we are, like Max, satanic, or like some others, um, Jewish, Muslim, atheist, agnostic, Christians, whatever faith or religion you are, you have to be able to you have to be able to move on. You have to be able to get on past that which you know is crap. Oh, cool. Max says, I'm a top tier troll. Well, welcome anyway. We like trolls. Ugly creatures. Usually knowing the history of trolls through education, which is something a lot of people don't like nowadays. Yeah, you ought to look up troll. They're kind of fun. Their ignorance is fun to watch, especially internet trolls. But see, therein lies the whole topic, questioning faith and everything. I tend to get a giggle out of people that come to me and tell me I'm a devil worshiper. No, I don't believe in the devil. Pagans do not believe in the devil. We believe in evil. We know that there's evil in everyone. Take trolls, for example. They are the embodiment of evil on the internet that like nothing to do but destroy people's lives and bring chaos. Well, the problem is, in our particular groups, the ones that we're associated with, we don't have time for chaos. We don't have time for anxious crap, so to speak. And that's okay. But in questioning faith and everything, we find ourselves actually, as we start to come out of that questioning, and we start to rebuild. Let's think about this. If you rebuild that which you thought you lost, then you are rebuilding, reestablishing, strengthening once weakened walls in your building of faith. And when I say the building of faith, I'm talking about the human body. You find yourself able to rebuild those areas that were weak, to rebuild those areas where people might have caused you question. And that's okay. We need to question, we need to allow the questions and find our own answers. I've had people ask me, what is my purpose? What is my point? Why am I here? My answer is simply, I don't have the answer for that. I can work with you to help find your own answers, but I cannot and will not pretend to tell you what your worth is. You have to find your worth in yourself, your purpose in belonging, and your purpose in believing in whatever you believe in. And we've always said this channel is open to all. Believers and non-believers, pagans, non-pagan, atheist, agnostic, Jewish, Muslim, hell, I can go on and on and on. Satanist, demonic, Luciferians, whatever. And that's okay. But at the end of the day, what it all comes down to is we have to be able to look at ourselves in the mirror like some people will not be able to. And we have to be able to be comfortable with who and what we are. We have to be able to believe that which we believe with question, but at the end of the day, with faith, more than anything else. Whether you call yourself a pagan or a Christian or any of the other thousands of religions on the planet, you have to have strong enough faith so that uneducated individuals, such as, people that come in and troll, don't bother you. Can you help me take the evil out? Well, I can teach you how to rid yourself of the evil, just like any of the people that generally watch our channel. And yes, I generally only have 2 or 3, maybe 4 or 5 live watchers. But several hundred watch the pre-recorded broadcast. So, there you go. I can't do it for you. I'm not a god. I don't want to be a god. I don't want that responsibility. I'm just a man just like everybody else. I have an idea. I have shared my spiritual teachings with people for over 20 years. It doesn't mean I know everything there is to know. It just means I know how to listen to people. I know how to reach out to those who might want help. But here's the thing. In questioning your faith and everything, and questioning everything there is to question about everything, you have to also, when you start coming up out of it, you have to allow yourself the ability to rebuild. Just like anything else, once you tear something down, generally something is rebuilt in its place. A house, a building, high rise, a person, self. When you tear yourself down and you're ready to rebuild, it's good, if you can, to reach out to friends and say, hey, I have a question. I used to believe this way. I used to feel this way about something. And I'm not sure it fits with where we are today. Science today teaches us question everything. Seek proof. Well, something I've noticed in religion, is that the word religion itself has become more political. Spiritualism denotes generally the lifestyle or the way you live, the way you talk to people, the way you handle yourself. So when you're rebuilding that spiritualism, and when you are reorganizing your thoughts, so now he's going to attack Clint. Poor fella. If it is a fella. Wow. Don't disturb anyone else watching, he says. Wow. Anyway, if you want to rebuild yourself with a intelligence and an education and some type of calm with it, you have to start, like I say, with that foundation. What do you believe? Do you believe nothing? Well, okay, that's a foundation for a house. Nothing. In my philosophy, I believe that if you have a nothing foundation, then you will have nothing walls, you will have nothing roof, and you will have nothing ceiling in your house of spiritualism because you believe in nothing. That's okay. Not my problem. But if you are one who wants to believe in something and you want to believe in something that if you want to believe in something that is greater than yourself, then you have to be able to step outside of yourself. You have to be able to step outside of that into that which is bigger than you are. So let's start. I'm watching some of the drama unfold in the live chat here on Facebook Live. What can you say about ignorance? There you go. So let's start. We've questioned ourselves all the way down to the foundation. And the foundation is, do I exist? Yes, I do. I pinch myself, I feel it. I can touch my physical body. Not that it necessarily means anything, but I can see the reflection of myself in the mirror. And quite frankly, in my aging years, sometimes it scares the hell out of me, but there you go. So I exist. What do I believe? Here's my foundation. Do I believe in a single, male, one and only God called Jehovah or Yahweh? Which, with a little research, you can find that Yahweh or Jehovah was the war god of the Mesopotamians. No, I don't think I'm going to follow that one. I have a choice. Now remember, I am human. I have free will. So I decide that one God, male, is missing something. I'm not a male chauvinist because I believe in the goddess. I believe in the balance between masculine and feminine. Not always male, not always female, but masculine and feminine. So you can see what I'm doing here. I'm starting to build my spiritual foundation after questioning myself all the way down to nothing. Now I may realize that in years past that I may have had some weakness in that foundation because of my lack of knowledge of things that I have found out over the past year or so. So I incorporate that knowledge into that foundation. So I have decided that I don't want to follow a single male God that supposedly gave his son to die for the sins of humans, when most especially humans don't seem to care. They seem to think it's perfectly fine to go out and get drunk, beat the hell out of somebody, rob, steal, pillage, rape, whatever, and they can suddenly find Jesus and you are saved and going to heaven. Sorry, had to. No, I don't believe that way. I believe there is karma. I believe that karma follows you in lifetimes. I believe karma follows you from lifetime to lifetime, and that karma has to be paid. It's kind of like a bank, if you will. In one part of the bank, you have your deposits of things that you've done good for yourself and for people. And in the other part of the bank, you have checks that have written on that karma for mistakes and crap that you've done to people and things and what have you over the years. Maybe, just maybe, there'll be almost a checks and balances by the time you get to the end of the road and this body dies, goes back to the mother as it will do, and the spirit steps up and says, how do I fare? I kind of cater to the idea of the Egyptian scale. Your heart cannot weigh more than a feather. Well, I promise my heart is heavier than a feather. I'm not Egyptian. I don't follow the Egyptian path. The Egyptian pantheon is interesting to study, but it's not my thing. But as we're building that foundation, we find ourselves becoming more comfortable with who we are. I am pagan first. But before that, before I'm pagan, I am a son to parents. Now, whether your parents are alive or passed on, it doesn't matter. You are still a son or a daughter to parents. And I'm not going to get into all of the sexual gender orientation and call yourself what you want. I don't care. But for the sake of argument, you are a son or a daughter of parents first. Well, then, if you're fortunate enough to find a mate and start a family, then you are a spouse. Maybe you're a parent. Not a parrot, but a parent. Now, does it make you a parent to be only a biological parent? No, it does not. You can have stepchildren, which makes you a parent. You can have animals that are a part of your family, dogs, cats, pigs, chickens, horses, whatever. Whatever is a part of your family, and your family is your heart, not always biological. So, I am a parent. I am pagan. I am a pagan minister. I am also, in my chosen path, a shaman. And I'm not going to get into what all shamanism teaches us. One of the main things is, though, it teaches us it's okay to embrace anger. It's okay to embrace fear, and it's okay to recognize, acknowledge, and embrace these emotions. And it's perfectly okay to lash out at someone that attacks with reason. And that reason, within boundaries, is my own. So you can see here where I am building a thicker foundation. Eventually, my foundation is thick enough and comfortable enough after tearing it all down that I can start building the rest of it. I can start building the rest of the walls. I can start building the rest of the things that I need to build for my spiritual foundation. But after we've torn everything down and we've questioned everything there is to question, all the way down to the earth where everything comes from anyway, and we've started rebuilding that foundation of faith, then we find that, like I said earlier, Old thoughts, old ideas, and trash hopefully get tossed out. New ideas, new thoughts, new philosophies, and new training get built into that foundation and walls, that roof, and that ceiling to make us a house of our spiritualism, a house of faith, whatever you want to call it. So I've always been of the belief that the house of faith is you. It's me. It's anyone who has a faith of one kind or another with a good strong foundation, walls, a roof to keep us dry, walls, and ceiling, insulation to keep us warm in the summer and are warm in the winter and cool in the summer. Boy, I like to jack that up. But let's think about something. Let's think about something. Seeing as how we have questioned everything, what happens if we get stuck? Now, yearly teardowns of self may not be for everyone. Yearly teardowns of self may not be advisable. You have to answer that question. I can't. Not for me to answer. But what about those that get stuck in the rebuild? I have seen people that get hung up in in questioning everything for years to the point where they eventually convince themselves that there is nothing. There's no goddess, there's no god, there's no multiple gods and goddesses, there's no deity to follow, that there's no philosophy or idea that's worth following. They convince themselves that even they are not worth having faith in. That's dangerous. That's dangerous for your psyche. It's dangerous for your health. It's dangerous for your mental health. It's dangerous for you, really. And it can be, in a lot of ways, it can be dangerous for your family and those around you. Really, truly. Because when you have nothing, and you don't even believe in yourself, and you believe in nothing. Now I'm going to retrospect that comment here in just a moment, so work with me here. And you have absolutely nothing to build a belief system on because you have lost so much faith in yourself that you don't bother doing anything because, and I've heard it before, why bother trying? I'm only going to screw it up. Why bother trying? I'm only going to screw it up. That gives way to a myriad of bad problems. Depression, anxieties, suicidal thoughts, a myriad of problems. Now, in retrospect, some might say, well, Don, are you saying that atheists are dangerous to themselves and to others? No, not at all. The true atheist has a foundation of nothing. That sounds like a paradox and an oxymoron, but it is a foundation nonetheless. Their entire belief system is built on there's nothing there. There's no gods, there's no goddesses, there's no life after death, there's no heaven, there's no hell, there's no Valhalla, there's no spiritual plane, there's nothing. You are the only thing that is important, and that is the the foundation belief system of atheism. That's why atheism is a religion, and it is an accepted religion, and it really has to be, because these people are serious about what they believe. Well, so are we. So are pagans. So are Christians, Jewish, Muslim. So I give atheists their due. They don't shake my belief. I know several, two of which I work with. Absolutely wonderful gentlemen. They're good at what they do, highly intelligent. But when you think about their philosophy, their ideology, it's interesting. Not one I'm going to convert to, because I actually happen to like being pagan. But I also know that the yearly questioning of everything helps keep me strong, and it helps keep me moving forward in my daily things that I need to do. My job is a relatively high-stress job that plays on one's temper on a daily basis. It causes sometimes you to want to just throw up your arms and go, which I have done. I love my mute button. I have a mute button on my phone, and it works. If it ever doesn't work, I'll probably be fired immediately. But I have always found that in questioning all the way down to the beginning, every once in a while, I know some people do it every couple of years. I know some that do it on a 5-year rotisserie, right? I do it every year. There have been some years I haven't done it. There have been some years I just breezed right on through, Samhain through Ostara, and I'm like, I didn't do the questioning. I call it the questioning. And it's generally because I didn't need to. I happen to think it's good to question the things that need to be questioned. I happen to think that it's good to bring ourselves back where we need to be. I see some of the guys that have gotten booted out of channel, and gotta love Facebook. Or not. Right. So, I want to leave you with this to go enjoy the rest of your day. When you go through the questioning, and you've torn yourself all the way down to nothing, if you need help rebuilding, reach out to someone you trust and say, hey, I do this on a yearly basis. I've torn myself all the way down, and now I'm trying to rebuild the pieces back up to get rid of the trash, bring in the new, so that I'm kind of up to date where the world's at right now. It's really good to keep those old family ideas, though, in with the mix. You don't have to throw away everything. Only throw away the trash. But sometimes we get wound up in our own goo that we may have to have a friend pull us out, and that's okay. Sometimes we all need a hand. Maybe not a hand out, but a hand up. So feel free to question. But it's not healthy to wind yourself up to the point where you've questioned yourself completely out of everything without rebuilding anything. Also, remember that in the description area up in the upper right are a couple of links, a link that you may want to check out. And we will see you right here on Open Pagan Church next week with another topic. And if you have any topics, anything you want to talk about that we haven't done before, or if we need to recap anything or go over something again to better answer questions, by all means, do not hesitate to share. I want to thank you to the troll that was in chat today. He was kind of fun to watch. If it was a he, it was kind of fun to watch. Thank you to those who watched and commented, and we look forward to future comments later on. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time here on Open Pagan Church.